Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
And we are back, man. Episode 362. All right. Let's get right into it. A woman's mugshot has gone viral after she got arrested for allegedly filling up her ex-boyfriend's gas tank with pre-sucked Skittles and Coke Zero. So this did not happen allegedly. She did do it. All right, so here we go. All right. This woman's mugshot is going viral after she was arrested for going to her blah, blah, blah. And it shows her picture. And she's a very attractive young lady, right? And it says, let me get this little quick read. Let me start off by saying that I think we need to hear both sides. That's the premise of the good justice system, right? Innocent until proven guilty. When I saw the headline, I knew that this was a textbook cause of breakup gone wrong. Pre-sucked Skittles? Anyone who has ever eaten a Skittle in their life, especially a sour one, would know that sucking the best part. No one screenshot this and get it out of context of what it says. I don't know why. How did the police even charge you with pre-sucked Skittles and putting them in a gas tank? I like to live in a world where every story I read online is true. Anyways, all right, this is just fluff. This is fluff.
It's the head scratching part.
Yeah,
it's the pre-sucked part.
Yeah, all right, it's Barstool too. Anyways, here's the thing.
Sometimes people put too much of their personality into the article.
Yeah, they do. You're not that interesting. But here's the deal, man. The reason why it's going viral is because of how the woman looks, right? She's very conventionally attractive. But my biggest issue with this is this. This is not the first time. It won't be the last. There's been many people who have gone viral because of them committing a crime and how they looked. Remember that dude they called him Prison Bae?
Yeah, something Meeks.
Yeah, the light-skinned dude, right? Mm-hmm. He had like a criminal record or something, and women were going crazy. Like, I don't know what he did, but let him go. He's innocent, blah, 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 blah. This is the problem with society. We have an obsession with vanity. And what it means is like we let our guard down for people who are more conventionally attractive. And it's weird. Mm-hmm. If you really think about it, it's very weird. A person who is attractive has the same ability to be a predator. They have the same ability to be a criminal. They have the same ability to be a creep or whatever. But what happens is people tend to be more accepting of people and they let their guard down around more attractive people. And it's weird. It's very strange. I don't know why people do this. It's no different than a guy that is like, that says, I want a woman that's like this. I want an old-fashioned woman, a woman that could, that does this and does that. And then a girl with a big booty walk by and he forget about all the shit he just fucking said. Mm-hmm. Right? You traded in all your integrity for a big ass. That's all it took was a fat ass to walk by. You'd be like, I want a woman that's in church. I want a woman that believes in God. And then a girl with these giant tits comes by and you like, hey, what's your name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. And I don't know what it is about us as a society, but it just exposes us, dude.
Yeah.
We love to talk a good game about how we care about, things such as integrity or relationship with God. All of that shit goes out the window as soon as the person that comes around looks the way you want them to. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Women are guilty of it. Men are guilty of it.
Yeah. I think with these type of situations, like it just kind of magnifies like society.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, this is not the first and it's not the last. I think that there is a alarming infatuation with attractiveness in criminals. Like there's something, and even taking it to serial killers.
Ted Bundy.
I forget the guy's name.
Night Stalker?
No, that's not what I was talking about. No. But there's another movie on Netflix with I forget some actor. Mm-hmm. But basically it was the same situation. He was posing as a photographer, mm-hmm. and then he would, I don't know if people deemed him attractive, but he definitely had a lot of women. He would approach them like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Let me take a picture of you. And then next thing you know, he's taking advantage of them or whatever the case, or killing them. And then, on the other end, on both sides, with women too, there's been not only her, but there's a few different women that have gone viral when their mugshots got released.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean? So yeah, it's a strange thing. Like you said, I don't really know where it comes from. There's definitely like a psychological thing that I'm sure some psychologist has done some extensive research on, but this is weird.
It's like a form of societal brainwashing too. I think that the media that we watch is forcing conventionally attractive people down our throats, whether it's our favorite shows or our favorite movies. If you really pay attention, like at least 85 to 90% of the people in the show are fairly decent looking people. Mm-hmm. I think that when you go out into the world, that's not the real that's not the real world. Mm-hmm. Like when you go out into the real world, there's some dude that's like 5'6", 300 pounds. And then there's like a woman that's like, you know, super wide and short, or a person that has a really big forehead, or that's how people really look in real life. Now there's attractive people that exist, but there are a lot of people who are not like that. Mm-hmm. There's some dude with a really hairy body. You ever see somebody that is so hairy they got hair on their knuckles all the way up to their shoulders? Have you ever seen that? Mm-hmm. Like the Wolf Man. You got people that look like that.
Yeah, I've seen hairy shoulders.
I'm like, fuck,
I've seen the back connect to the back of the hair. Like
God damn.
Yeah, you be seeing some wild.
The back of the hair connecting to the back?
Yeah.
I would have to charge him $100 for a haircut.
Imagine his face started at his spinal cord.
God damn. If I'm a barber, I'm walking out, I'm leaving my equipment, I'm coming back with a weed whacker, bro. Like, you need garden equipment to cut that shit. God damn.
You getting a fade on your traps?
I'm going to be putting, you know, you got to prime up the fucking.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, but I think the lesson to take away from this is, hey, man, how hypnotized are you by attractive people? Because I can tell you, when it comes to me and women, it doesn't mean shit to me. It genuinely doesn't. Like, I'm not saying I don't like attractive women. I'm just saying I've came across a lot of women who looked conventionally attractive that they were complete pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. Like terrible people. Mm-hmm. I think that and this is just, I'm not saying that men are not guilty of this shit. I'm just going to say attractive people sometimes are a victim of their own attractiveness, where they don't have to develop any real attributes because society is so accepting of them regardless of how they behave. So if you're a woman and you're super fine and you got long, beautiful hair and green eyes and you got some big breasts and your booty is fat and your waist is small, you could just get away with murder. Like, you could walk into a room and they're like, oh my God, like, put that knife away. Did you just stab somebody? We're not going to call the police. Just put the knife down. Mm-hmm. Men are that dumb. Like, it sounds like a joke, but men are that dumb.
Yeah. You're way too pretty to be murdering people.
Oh, here's the worst one that men do. Dang, girl, you too pretty to be working here. Mm-hmm. Dudes, men say shit like that. So sometimes when women are like...
I get that, though.
What?
Not that it makes sense, like anybody could work anywhere. But we also know that, like, if you're a certain level of attractiveness, like, you're probably working in, like, you're
doing a job that's more aligned with your attractiveness, like a bottle girl.
Yeah, you're a waitress.
You're a waitress, a bottle girl, fucking car salesman or some shit. I don't know.
You're working at, like, what do you call it? Like
a bank or something.
Selling makeup and perfume. You know what I mean?
Receptionist.
Like at the little kiosk in the mall or something like that. If you're going into, like, Starbucks or something and saying that, then it's just like, yeah, you just, you know, that doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all, because nobody is above a job regardless of how they look. However, you're right, because attractive women, I've noticed some of the most attractive women and where they work, and there's like I won't say a correlation, but there's like a relationship there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I also noticed too that women that happen to be very attractive, like on the highest spectrum of attractiveness, like even when I used to work in the mall back in like 2007, I remember I would see girls that worked at like a kiosk, right? They'd be fine as hell. There was a chick that worked at she was one chick that worked at a pretzel spot, and she had a huge crush on my homeboy. So I would use her for pretzel dogs. She would like ask where my homie was at. I'd be like, hey, he's back there. You want me to tell him you said what's up? She's like, yeah. But the homie had a girl. So I was just telling him, but he wasn't coming over there. But I got a lot of free pretzel dogs for that.
I feel that.
She was relentless. She was fine too.
Yeah.
But she had a very nice car. I'm not saying she didn't earn it, whatever the case, but it seems like very attractive women tend to have nice things, I've noticed. Like, or you know, it'll be some older dude that'll come pick them up from work with a real nice car or something. I just think that there's like a there's like a relationship, I guess.
You could just like, I feel like you can leverage attractiveness in
Absolutely.
a way. Yeah. Just, I don't know, like, especially now with social media and stuff like that. Like, you could just kind of, people be getting like little brand deals and stuff like that. You just be like, dang, like you. And I'm not the person that's hating on that, because I get the, what do you call that?
I guess like the allure of it.
Yeah, because we all have our own, talents and things like that we have the ability to take advantage of. And I honestly think being attractive is a talent, Like, I think this girl is probably going to serve a little bit of, it's not a talent, like literal talent, but I'm just saying, like, you can leverage it.
You can leverage it. Absolutely, you can leverage it.
Because she's going to get out of jail, and she's probably going to have, like, some type of people willing to put her in front of the camera in some capacity. Just like the same with the Meeks guy, I forget his first name, but he leveraged that into dating like a billionaire or something like that. Like, he had a whole, after he got out of prison, he got a like a modeling contract. I think he was in like a movie or two, something like that. But yeah, he kind of leveraged a whole career out of that. So I think the same is coming for this girl.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate thing, I could speak about women more specific. I think women who are very attractive that have like a lack of character development, they tend to like interact a little different. Like, I remember I was out with a group of friends. This had to be over 10 years ago. And like, the chicks weren't on me. They were extremely attractive. And I'm just naturally, like, I guess, a funny person. So I was cracking jokes or whatever, or just talking to people. And then one girl was like, "Oh my God, you're funny. Make me laugh. Make me laugh." And I was like, "I'm not your personal entertainment, girl. Be quiet."
That is a little crazy.
Yeah, make me laugh. Make me laugh. I'm like, no. You're not paying me for this. I'm not like a comedy on standby. What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I think this, like, they can have a very warped worldview because that's how they're used to getting it. They'll tell a dude, like, "Make me laugh." He'll be like, okay, I got a joke somewhere. It's like, nigga, no, I'm not about to do that. Just because you look good, I'm about to come up with all these jokes. Get the fuck out of here.
That's comedy.
I listen to your podcast. You guys are funny. Say something on your podcast right now. Say something. I'd be like, girl, go listen to the episode. What the fuck is your problem?
That's crazy.
Life is crazy, Keith. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. The guy's name, his name is Jeremy Meeks, Prison Bay.
Oh, yeah, Prison Bay. Yeah.
So, yeah, he was married to Melissa.
He got a baby mama that got money.
Melissa Meeks. But then they got divorced. They were married for 10 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So, he's from Stockton.
He's local.
Police Department. Yeah, Melissa. I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like his wife had some bread.
He had like a legit modeling career too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Can you imagine being in jail eating noodles and then like 3 days later you on a runway somewhere?
Ain't that crazy?
That's nuts. You in prison, you were eating noodles, and then you get all these fans. That's wild. And you know, when they on them runways, they be playing some real flamboyant music. They like, down, don't hurt me, no more, down.
That's crazy.
That's gotta be a complete culture shock, man. Yeah. You go from eating hot noodles, you go from stabbing each other.
Oh dang!
You stabbing each other for noodles in prison.
Fades.
You protecting your butt, making sure nobody take your butt, and now you on a runway 2 days later. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, I misspoke. His wife wasn't like super wealthy, but I guess she was like I think she's like a personality in some way, shape, or form.
Now, can you imagine being in prison and 2 days later you on the runway? It's like, but I got a song when I kiss something alone, as I satisfy it all.
No, you'll have like
baby, now I got the flow.
You'll have like the Weeknd like performing while you walking down the runway. You know, he's like he kind of has like that super pop music that could play on the runway.
He does. Yeah. Like that very dark like pop music.
Yeah.
I only call you when it's high. Like this one is telling I'll be back.
Yeah. That's crazy though. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this plays out because I definitely think once she get out, like that's all it takes is that one little viral. You got to think. I was just watching. I was watching Drewski's. He has the thing like his reality
the
show.
Love Show. I haven't seen it.
It's actually. I'm a fan of Drewski, so I've watched both. It's only 2 episodes out right now. I've watched both of them, and they're like hilarious to me. But what I was saying was Bobby Altoff was on that episode, and then we have like the what's the girl, the spit on it girl? What's her name?
Haktua.
Haktua girl.
Yeah, something Welsh.
Yeah. So you have like these people that have had like these mini viral experiences, and they've leveraged a career out of that. Same thing with Jeremy Meeks. So these that's all it takes, man, is that one photo of you going viral.
Look, man, everybody's not trajectory, but everybody's path is going to be different. You could just be a hot chick and get a bunch of attention and make money, or you could be like me and Keith and have to like scrape every week, scraping, and then you make it to the very top, right? Imagine
like
this.
when you scraping and scrambling. Daddy.
You had to pull that P Diddy out of nowhere. I love it when you scraping and scrambling, Daddy. I love it when you scrambling and scraping. Yeah, you know what I'm about. Oh man,
that's crazy.
Even everything Diddy said would just be unintentionally gay. He was like, "Where you want to eat, man?" I love In-N-Out.
Oh, dang.
Love that place, man. They put a lot of oil on their burgers, huh? Hey, chef, let me get some more oil on that burger, baby.
Yeah.
I love it when you put oil on that burger, Daddy.
I want to take you shopping.
Yeah.
At the Men's Warehouse.
Ain't enough salt on these fries. I want my mouth to salivate. What's going on, man? I need 3 Ethiopian midgets butt naked at my house at 2 a.m. right now.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy, yo. Oh, man. That nigga Diddy came out with a special In-N-Out chain. Oil and out. You open up that fast food window, he just spray some of that drug oil on your ass and be like, yeah, meet me after this. Like, this nigga put drugs on me. Fuck. All right, let's move on. All right, switching gears. Delta Airlines offering $30,000 to each passenger who was on the plane that crash landed in Toronto. I blame Drake for this. Say, Drake, I heard you like to crash.
Oh, all right.
Dang. All right. Delta Airlines is offering passengers who were on a Toronto-bound flight that crash landed and flipped upside down $30,000 apiece. It was not immediately clear how passengers can claim their money, but if all 76 passengers take Delta up on this offer, it will have to fork over nearly $2.3 million in total. Delta Care team representatives are telling customers that the offer has no strings attached and does not affect their rights. A Delta spokesperson said Delta Flight 4819, which was arriving in Toronto Pearson International Airport from Minneapolis, burst into flames upon landing and flipped upside down on the runway at 2:15 p.m. Monday. The CRJ 900 was carrying 76 passengers, 4 members who were left dangling from their seatbelts when the smoking plane came to a stop. There were no deaths, but 21 people were injured and taken to local hospitals. Airport President CEO Deborah Flint said none of the injuries were life-threatening. Okay, well, Delta Airlines, here's my thing. That $30,000 to me seems like a form of coercion, right? Like it's almost like they're coercing you not to sue them any further. And they probably figure that most people's financial situation in the United States is not great. We're living in an economy where we're paying $10 for eggs, right? And they say, hey, we can give these people $30,000. Hopefully they shut up. But I don't think that I think in any case they would have to have some form of financial compensation for wrecking the planes. But as of recent, there's been a lot of scares with these planes. There's been planes running into helicopters and crashing into each other and crash landing. Planes have been one of the main focal points as of the last couple of weeks, man. And it's it's unfortunate. It's making people scared to fly. So I think that what might have to happen, if they want to gain the respect of everyone, they need to shut all flights down. They have to shut them all down for probably 2 to 3 hours, and they need to be on a massive call. I'm talking about the president needs to be on the Zoom call, Delta, Spirit, all of them, and they need to all talk to the American people to ensure and let them know that everything's going to be safe. Because when people are dying and crash landing, I think you got to stop all operations. All operations. Because here's the thing, Keith. If you run a restaurant, right, and a health inspector comes and they see roaches, they're going to say, hey, you got to halt all business right now. Get these roaches out of here. We might have to put a tent up and do some fumigation. And then after the fumigation, we'll come back and re-inspect it, and then you could open your business. But for some reason, there are businesses that continue to operate even though there are dangers, such as niggas dying on planes. So you don't think that that's worth stopping production?
Yeah.
I'm not saying indefinitely, but for a few hours at least. And then getting a Zoom call and having it, live, maybe either on Instagram, on multiple, Instagram, Facebook, CBS, CNN, Fox News. I think everyone should be in on that call for what the expectations are going forward, because people are fucking scared, man.
Yeah, I can see what do you call that? Like, same way Mark Zuckerberg was sitting in front of the Congress.
Exactly.
I can see something like that happening pretty soon.
That's exactly what I mean.
They're going to want to have these questions answered. I think that, like you said, that 30,000 is a
Band-Aid.
I think it's a way for them to get ahead of what's going on, get ahead of the smoke a little bit. Because in my mind, when you're saying I'm going to give these people that were on the plane $30,000 and then they can still, it doesn't affect their rights or anything like that. To me, that doesn't really, my business mind doesn't really understand that move. So I think that there's something bigger at play here. I know that if I am Delta, I do not want to lose money in any way, shape, or form. So they're probably hoping that $30,000 will just keep them at bay, and probably they won't try to pursue any lawsuits. Obviously, you have the two people that lawyered up or whatever the case may be, but maybe they're hoping that the other people that were on the plane, they just take that money and go buy their eggs or go support their family or whatever they need. But yeah, I just don't. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think also these things are a little tricky because it's big lawyer talk, going into this whole situation. So, Delta is going to have top tier lawyers on their side, and whoever is trying to get the money on, the passenger side is going to be, I imagine they ready to play ball as well. But it's just going to be, they just going to have to duke it out in court, I guess, and see who comes out on top. But yeah, it's very calculated, and I'm just curious to see the moves that Delta makes. But like you were saying, above all, we got to get this figured out, dog.
Absolutely.
This plane's crashing every week.
There needs to be some ass kissing. I think that what happens is as citizens, very, very few times do we witness companies just do a little bit of ass kissing for the people that keep them in business. I think that when you talk about Delta, they need to say, hey, you get a Delta flight for the next year, for the next 4 or 5 months, all the concessions are free on us. If you want breakfast, lunch, dinner, it's free around the clock. That's what they need to do. They need to start kissing ass. All those seats that are at the airport, rip them out, put new ones there with soft cushioning. All these, the bathrooms, everything, fix it. Fix all this shit now. You know what's crazy? Remember we talked about, I think it was American Airlines who had a bunch of scandals. And I think, no, it was during the holidays. I don't know if it was American Airlines that did it? Fuck. Remember that the computer system crashed and everybody was stuck after Thanksgiving. They all got stuck at the airport until after December. And I thought to myself, like, bro, this is fucked up. And it turns out there was a guy that was working for that, I think it was American Airlines. And he said, hey, look here, man, my job was to do a bunch of manual updates and things for that system. And now that
I remember that.
Yeah, he said, now that they've gotten rid of me, they're going to find out how many problems they're going to have. And he put that shit on TikTok. And he says, hey, I'm no longer working there. So they'll figure it out. And probably about a week later, that shit crashed and everybody was stranded. And I'm like, dude, you guys, you trying to, they're cutting corners, man. They're cutting corners. You ever been to Ross? Either Ross or Marshall's. I think Ross is where I seen it. You ever been getting checked out like they're scanning up your stuff, right? And then you look at the systems that they're using. They're still using systems from the 80s, bro.
Like when they're scanning your items.
Yeah, when they scan your item and they're using those old keyboards that are like they're like beige. You know what I'm talking about? And the computer is the same color, and it's not even in color. It's only a black screen with green letters.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They're still using that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, dude, that's like, you got to understand, those systems are like older than me or the same age, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they're using systems from like 85 in 2025.
Yeah, they don't be wanting to spend the money on that type of stuff.
But you know that Blockbuster was doing that, right?
Doing what?
Blockbuster, they had the last Blockbuster. It's all closed now. There might be one still. I don't know where it's at. But the last one was in Oregon, and that they had like a little documentary on it. And everything in Blockbuster that was there, they had to use the system because the company would not update it. So they weren't giving them any new systems. They weren't giving them any new computers or nothing.
Yeah.
And they were using old shit. And the people that were working there were fixing the equipment. I'm like, what?
Yeah, man. Some of these, I think you can never really get into the mind of like what the business owners and the people, the people that are making these decisions are doing. But at the end of the day, most of these people are trying to find ways of earning more money and spending less money. And that's their whole goal. So when it comes to like those type of things, they know that that's like a bill that they're going to have to fork out, probably millions of dollars to update the systems. And then there's a whole training that goes with it and all these things. But I think that's how businesses die, man. When you're not willing to progress in a way where you're updating your systems or buying new computers or whatever the case may be, that's how you end up not being a company anymore. And, that's how you end up being history. Like Blockbuster is history right now.
It's crazy, man. It's wild when you think about it as far as age-wise. All the companies that have went down the toilet since we were kids. Blockbuster's gone. Toys R Us is gone. Sears is gone. Oh, my God. I feel like soon, not too long, maybe in the next 10 years, I feel like Long John Silver's is going to be gone. You know that Bakersfield is one of the only places in the state with Long Johns? Really? There's only, in the whole state of California, there's only like 30-something.
They need a rebrand.
Yeah, nigga fish.
Long John's is actually...
they're kind of good.
Yeah, dude. I don't actually... I think it's pretty decent. But it's like you said, it is... Is it still over there on Ming?
Yeah, it's down the street from my house.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, the food is not bad. I just don't know what's going on. The Hush Puppies. It's just... I just think of like the 90s when I think about it. But yeah, I think the food is good. Yeah,
that Long John Silver's hasn't had much of a facelift. Like, they're not putting a ton of money into them. But there's certain places, if you look, matter of fact, you put in Long John locations, bro, you're going to see there's not very many. Long John Silver's locations. Let's put California. All right, boom. Here we go. Bakersfield, it's only one. We had like 3 Long Johns in Bakersfield at one time.
Really?
Yes, we had one off Ming. We had another one that was on the east side, kind of near BC. And that, I think those are the 2 I know for sure. And then we got, the next one is Gardena, bro.
God dang.
Gardena. And then, okay, here, let me go from the top. We got, Bakersfield, Gardena.
There's not one in Visalia?
Yes.
I was going to say I know. Because that's where, when I was growing up, I think my aunt used to work there.
Yeah, Visalia. And then you got Merced. And then you got North Highlands, California. And then you got Yucaipa. And you got Dinuba, Sacramento, Stockton, and Clovis. That's the only ones in California, bro.
That's crazy to think because there are some fast food restaurants that are like.
Oh, my bad. Like, I'm lying. There's more. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying that there's some where there's like 5 or 6 in a single town.
Not
city.
Not in here no more.
I'm talking about other franchises. Like Taco Bell's is like everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they Taco Bell gonna make sure they got enough in your city so y'all all shitting on y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
dog. I wanted there be dog. The nastiest bathrooms be at work, man. I went into the bathroom once. I had to pee like really bad, and then like it's kind of hard to tell who did it because I didn't go in like directly after somebody, but I walked into the bathroom and it was like like the back of the toilet wall. Okay. You know what I mean? Like not the wall, but the
back of the toilet.
Yeah, the toilet.
Somebody shit all over the back of it.
Yeah, it had like doo-doo like everywhere. But the crazy
part
painted
it.
Yeah, like they just flung like brown paint all up against the thing. But that's normal, right? Because
it's not.
It's not normal, but I'm saying that's like it's understandable. Like they probably had Taco Bell for breakfast, and they just went in there and doo-doo. And that's the crazy part. It'd be so early in the morning. Like you should not be doo-dooing like that in the morning. But
how you gonna restrict somebody's doo-doo? How you gonna tell me how American I can be? If I want to blow in the back of that toilet, I could do it.
No, but so that was one thing. But the nastier part was it was on the actual seat, like on the back of the seat. It was like a streak of like, and this wasn't as brown as this part. This was like a lighter. This was like light skin, and this was dark skin down here.
It's 2 different shades of doo-doo?
It was 2 different shades
God
of doo-doo.
damn.
But the nastiest part of all of it was
50 shades of doo-doo.
The nastiest part of all of it was I knew the person in there. I knew the nigga in there did not use a toilet seat cover. Because the way that the doo-doo was sitting on the toilet, I was like, ain't no way he used those seat covers. I was like, dang, I couldn't. That's nasty.
Oh, that dude was in a rush, man.
Man, probably so. And them things is cheap too. So if you really got a doo-doo real bad and you pull one of those out, you'll probably tear it. And you pull another one out and tear that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And hold on. Now, do you guys got separate bathrooms for faculty and students, or it's all one?
Yeah, we have separate bathrooms.
So that was the teacher that did that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And they're all in a general area. So if I did a process of elimination, it was probably Mr.
Process of shit elimination. God damn.
Yeah.
Yo, I was sending an anonymous email. Somebody keeps shitting on the back of the toilet like it's their house.
Dear staff. Nigga, wipe your ass. Right?
Dear staff.
How do you go back to teaching after you done doo-dooed everywhere? Like it's normal. What are you doing?
Oh, man. It would be hard for me to respect the teacher that did that.
It was another time when I went into the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
And so I walk in and there's like a shelf like right when you walk in, and it has like toilet like tissue paper and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I walk in, and the door is kind of heavy, so it ain't like you just burst in through the door. Like you kind of gotta like give it a little power. Okay. But when I'm opening the door, I see like a phone sitting there, and my first thought is like, oh dang, somebody left their phone. Let me like take a picture and then send a little email or to tell everybody what's going on. But when I fully open the door, I just see a grown man like straddling the toilet bowl like this. And then I look further and it's a plumber. He like tightened one of the screws. I'm like,
he got his face in the toilet.
I'm like, dog, ain't no grown man should be straddling no toilet like that. And he didn't even say nothing. He just He just let me walk in on him straddling the toilet. I'm like, dog, this is crazy.
Oh no. Plumbers got to be the most unsanitary fucking people ever, man. They will be doing something with the toilet with no gloves, no protective equipment. They'll be knee deep in shit. Just plunger, and this shit blasting out the toilet.
Oh my God.
And they're just what was that movie with that dude's dad worked at a restaurant, but he was a plumber.
He worked at a
fuck. He went to give his dad a cake for his birthday, and the dad was like, "Thank you, son," and he just started plunging the toilet.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember that.
Oh, it'll come to me. It wasn't. Was it Deuce Bigalow? I don't think it was Deuce Bigelow. I can't remember. It might have been, but it's one of those type movies where the dad worked at like a restaurant. He's like a bathroom attendant, and then somebody clogged the toilet, and he had a plunger. Like, yeah. But if you know what's funny, if you go to plungers, like go to TikTok and look up plumbers. Dude, they be doing all kind of stuff. They'll be like opening up pipes, and they'll just have like regular gloves, like wool gloves. They should be wearing fucking like a full hazmat suit, bro.
Yeah,
plumbers should be wearing a hazmat suit. I remember one time, it was like in China, and this dude had some PVC pipe, you know, the plastic like pipe, and he was like opening this valve real slow. And then it blew off, and a bunch of brown water blew in his face, dude. Just brown water blew all over him.
That's nasty.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
I can't. You have to build a different level of tolerance. You know, plumbing is not always just the bathroom, but that's the worst part of it.
Yeah, you get plumber. You can have a shit day, man.
Man, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Schools are wild, bro. Just in general, I had a homie that was he was a janitor for he was a janitor at a junior high, and he said he kept finding shit in the urinals. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think I've seen that before. That's just disgusting.
Like how did you not get busted doing that?
How do you do? You got to do it so fast, and I would imagine they didn't wipe their booty.
It's no way.
Yeah.
Apparently there is a whole subculture of people that don't wipe their ass. Yeah. Here's the worst part. There is a bunch of people, I can't speak for women, but I can speak for men, where I'm at the gym and like let's say I'm lifting weights, right? When I go to the bathroom, I wash my hands first, then I pee, then I wash my hands again. And the reason why is if I'm touching weights, right? Why would I go and grab my penis to pee after grabbing all those weights?
Yeah, I feel that.
Right? So I go wash my hands, pee, and I wash my hands again. I be seeing dudes go in there, they have workout gloves on, go pee, and then walk out, not even wash their hands. Yeah. That made me not want to shake nobody's fucking hands ever again.
The craziest experience I've seen with that, like that, was I seen a man go into the bathroom, wash his hands, take a leak, and then just walk out of the bathroom. Oh, it's like he reverse engineered hand washing. Like,
so he did what now?
So he went to the bathroom. Okay. He washed his hands. Then he went to go pee, and then he just dipped.
So the first hand wash was enough. That's what you just assuming your dick is so clean you ain't gotta wash your hands. I wonder how many handshakes has had a handful of dick and they just, hey, how you doing, sir? Man. It's like, man, don't shake my hand.
The opposite is understandable. Just like using the bathroom and then just washing your hands and then leaving. But I've never seen nobody like, man, I don't want my dirty hands touching my dick, but like I'm fine with it touching everything else.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's crazy.
What's wild about people that don't wash their hands, it just gave me a wider scope of what's really going on. There are probably guys walking around dirty hands all day. They didn't use the bathroom. They still got their girlfriend's juices all over their hands, and they shaking everybody's hands. Yeah. And this is why I get a little cringy when I go to restaurants and I see somebody with no gloves on. I've seen a motherfucker at McDonald's one time. He was on a smoke break. When I walked in, I seen a dude standing out there smoking. Then I seen him walk in there and he just started making burgers. I'm like, this motherfucker.
You can't do that.
Yeah, Mr. Cigarette over here is making McDoubles.
Yeah, I got ashes on my burger. Nah. That's crazy.
Yeah, Mr. Black and Mild over here is making some chicken sandwiches. Oh man. Hey man, you better than me, dude. Because if I found out like who was shitting on the toilet, I would just approach him like, hey man, everybody's on to you. Everybody's on to you, man. They know you're the one doing it.
It is it's a tricky. The bathroom that I seen that in is in a specific area where it's kind of tricky, like as far as who could have done it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Some people just be, I don't know. Some people probably too big to be like on those toilets.
I think the hard part too is it could have happened during like a passing period, or somebody might have been in a rush. But yeah, that's I don't know. That's crazy. That just says a lot about what you eating and your like how sanitary you are. Yeah. I think me as a human being, even if I'd like pee and it's a little bit on the seat, I might just wipe it down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna leave pee on your fucking toilet.
Yeah, but I'm for sure not leaving no doo-doo on this.
Oh my
on the
God.
Seat. That sounds crazy.
Damn, man.
Yeah, because the janitor got to clean that up, dog.
Oh, my God.
And these is real human beings. Like, I be talking to the janitor that be coming by. Like, we be having, like, real conversations. Like, little brief, short conversations. But I can't, leave him to clean the bathroom.
I want to apologize to the listeners. All those that probably tuned out. But I'll say this. Truck drivers got to be some of the nastiest human beings on the planet. And I've been driving for 10 years now. And, like, even though I'm local, I'll stop by a truck stop on the way to my destination, and I'll, maybe grab a quick bite, grab something basic or something small, and then leave. Those bathrooms are the worst, bro.
Yeah.
There was this dude, right? It was this older gentleman, and he was on his, how they have those headsets? So he's talking on his headset. I'm at the urinal. This guy, I assume he's talking to his wife, and he just opens the door. Locks it, like you immediately hear the toilet seat go down, right? So I don't think he prepped this toilet at all. I don't think he put a bug guard down. Nothing.
Yeah,
He just, and then
Ain't no way.
And then you just hear him talking to his wife, and then you hear a blast. Like this guy, he just had a whole explosion. He's like, yep, that's right. Yeah. And tell the kids, like, when they get, and it's like, bro, if you're the wife, like, let that man just shit. Like, stop talking to him when he does that. Like that, I'm not talking. I don't care how comfortable I am. I'm not gonna be shitting talking to my wife. Give me a minute. I'll call you back.
Yeah, I definitely. This happened like maybe a couple weeks ago. I had went into the bathroom and one of the guys, he's like a security, he's a security guard, and he chopping it up. Like, I forget what the conversation was, but it was something like regular, like, "Hey man, how you doing? How's school treating you and stuff like that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's doing pretty good. Like, everything's running pretty smooth." He's like, and then I think he asked me a question about Trump or something like that. He's like, "Yeah, they got Trump in office now." I'm like, "Yeah, man. So, we're going to see how these next 4 years go." And then, like, I was taking a leak. So, a leak is like, you can only have a short conversation with the leak.
Yeah.
But when I realized, he walked past me and then walked into the big stall. And then he closed the door, and it wasn't like, I didn't hear no peeing going on.
Yeah.
So, but I did hear, like, the
belt
buckle sound, like, going on. And the seat go down.
Was a black man?
Yeah, old black man.
Oh, man, he taking the Black History shit up in there. Like,
that's a civil rights dude. But yeah, he definitely was about to take. But he was holding on to the conversation. Like, he didn't even, like, it wasn't like, I'll talk to you later kind of thing. Like, I had to end the conversation.
He was holding on and letting go at the same time.
I was like, man, I don't want to be talking to you while you doing. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, poor guy. The plumber thing is hilarious though. You said the plumber's phone was on the ground?
No, it was like there was like a shelf. So like when you walk in, like imagine this little jug right here, like, and then the phone was just like sitting right here. So when I walked in, I seen the phone. I was like, oh dang, somebody left their phone. Let me help somebody out.
He didn't have no gloves on?
I didn't even look that. As soon as I seen him straddling the seat, I was like, man, I gotta go.
Oh.
But the thing about it, like, I've been in the bathroom before and I forgot to lock it. And then somebody's like getting their keys out, I'd be like, hey, I'm in here. I'll say that real quick. But not like this dude didn't even say nothing.
he was hoping somebody walked in there, see how hard he was working.
He wanted to talk to somebody.
We'll move on after this, but this is what I find absolutely hilarious. Have you ever been to a public restroom and when you close the door, right? Mm-hmm. You know how where there's like a lock, it's like a little twist thing where you lock it, and sometimes it's a latch. Mm-hmm. bro, sometimes that space in between the lock is too big. And like people could walk by and just see you on the toilet.
Oh.
You're like, motherfucker, goddamn. Yeah. And somebody like you'll see somebody staring at you to walk by and the gap is so big where the lock is at. And you like, bro, we should not be locking eyes and I'm on the toilet, dude. Get out of here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, especially I say bars and clubs are the worst. Mm-hmm. If you're a person that they're so bad, even peeing at a club is terrible.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
You see like toilet paper, cigarettes in the seat, all kind of crazy stuff.
I think the worst thing I've seen at a club. We got to move on because it's too much toilet.
There's a lot of doo-doo.
Toilet talk. The worst thing I've seen had to be in like 2008. And it was after we had a family reunion that year, and then after reunion, some of the fam we all met up at the club. Back then it was called Cabana Palms, and it was a dope club. It's where Club Bricks is now, but it was called Cabana Palms back then. And I went in to take a leak, and some dude that went in the stall like to the right, and it was a girl in there. So she was in there on her knees in that bathroom.
Oh my God!
In that bathroom, dude.
That's nasty.
Like urine infested bathroom with some. I'm just like, dude, this is
ain't nobody that horny.
I know. I think what it is I think people they're inebriated. They're like drunk. And then when they wake up the next day and they know they got urine on themselves, then they're gonna be like, oh my God, let's not do that anymore.
Got a UTI on your knees.
Yeah, man. UTI, we ain't talking about the Institute. You know that commercial? UTI. All right. Crazy. Switching gears.
Damn, my zipper all open.
Oh, damn. This nigga was getting ready. Oh, this guy is crazy. All right, so let's get into it. Switching gears. Kid Rock stuns Bill Maher after DEI hot take on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Would you like to run that clip real quick?
Oh, dang. I got it ready.
Oh, man. Come on, buddy. Hopefully we get some. Oh, did you got it should be the second clip. I mean, the second TikTok thing. You see it? If you see it.
Hold on. Sometimes TikTok be acting weird. Like it don't pop up the video, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sometimes. Or sometimes it'll be a little delay.
Yeah.
All right, so look. Not only are
this was the epitome of DEI. Like, this was the epitome of DEI blowing up. Because, the NFL was all this DEI and racism, all this stuff. They got Jay-Z in there booking this. And, like, Kendrick Lamar goes out there and basically turns DEI into an IED. It's like, it's all black people, or all people of color, speaking to his crowd in the hood, black people. It was like the most non-exclusive, or the most exclusive thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm laughing my ass off.
Okay.
Bill Maher looked, we won't say names, but there was a person on the podcast who said some wild stuff about the black community.
Oh, and we had to like.
And the way that Bill Maher looked right there is the way that we looked when he
said that statement. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'll say this, okay. When you talk about DEI, I think that's becoming like a new trigger word. I think what's happening is people are using it to be subliminally biased, and I don't even think they know what that means. It's just diversity, equity, and inclusion. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it exists is because of many scenarios of people. It's not just for black and brown people, first and foremost. There's a lot of white women that benefit from DEI. Mm-hmm. I think they're the main ones. However, let's say this. If your name is LaToya Jackson, right, and you fill out a job application, there was a statistic that people with black-sounding names were not getting hired. That's a real thing. That's not me throwing something out there. Like, this is everything I'm saying you could research. Don't listen to me. But when things like that happen enough, things like DEI start to happen, right? I believe the most qualified person should be hired. However, if that person happens to be black, give them the fucking job. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to this whole scenario with him talking about Kendrick Lamar, it's insane. Insinuating DEI, right? First of all, Kendrick Lamar was one of the biggest artists of the fucking year. So that's where that conversation dies, right? Secondly, The biggest recipient of DEI is Kid Rock himself, a person that immersed himself in black culture to where he had a fucking flat top. His baby mama is black and he has a black son, but you're so oblivious to why DEI even exists. Mm-hmm. It's dumb. Not to mention, there's nothing wrong with Kendrick Lamar having all black people on stage because this happened numerous times in the NFL with white artists. You know, I'm going through a list right here, and it's happened, and I never looked on stage and said, there's no black people. What's going on? I just figured, hey, those are artists that are, you know, they're good. Coldplay, there was no black people on stage for Coldplay. I'm just going to go through a list of all the people that were on stage. So 2016 Coldplay, no black people. Lady Gaga, I'm pretty sure somebody was out there was black. Justin Timberlake, that was in 18. I'm sure somebody was black up there.
I forgot who was with Justin Timberlake.
I don't remember who was. But if you go back even further, this is like more recent. But if you go back, let's just go back. I already said Coldplay. There was nobody black on stage. Then you got The Who, right? The Who played in 2010. Nobody was black that was on stage. Everybody was white on that one. Then you go, let's go back. U2, right? U2, I love U2. They're dope, but nobody was black on stage. Shania Twain and No Doubt. Nobody was black on that one either. Aerosmith and NSYNC, nobody was black on stage either. So you get what I'm trying to say here. I think it's absolutely ignorant, and it's just, it lacks depth when you're Kid Rock and your whole existence was starting by being immersed in black American culture, which is hip hop. We can't say like, oh, hip hop is not black. That's a fucking lie. It is. Mm-hmm. It is black American culture. Mm-hmm. And that was where you got your start. And the reason why you're even relevant at all now is because of your career in its infancy. Now, outside of that, Kid Rock is just a person that just lacks integrity. There was a campaign, we talked about this on the podcast. There was like some trans woman that had like a special like a rollout for like a beer, like for Bud Light, but it had like her likeness on it. Now that's neither here nor there with me with the trans conversation. I'm not going to dig too much into that. But what I will say is he was shooting a can of Bud Light, right? He was shooting it. And he was like, this is ridiculous. And he's shooting a can of Bud Light to show his disliking for the trans person being on the Bud Light can, right? And then a couple months later, they bust him drinking a Bud Light, like at a concert. I'm like, dude, if you're going to fucking not like something, stand on it. Mm-hmm. So this is the type of person we're talking about, right? Kid Rock, stick to what you do best. Just do meth and shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Like, you just do meth and just shut up. Like, it's insane. Like, and to say that for it to be DEI, there was no diversity. It's like, brother, you're acting like Kendrick Lamar is a DEI hire. Cut it the fuck out.
Yeah.
That isn't, it's, not only is it, you're really starting to get on the edge, because not only is it an ignorant take, but you're starting to sound a little racist, Kid Rock. And I don't like to put racism on people, but we got to stop pulling out DEI on people when they happen to be black or brown. That's when you're starting to blur the motherfucking lines.
Yeah.
That's when you're blurring the lines a little too goddamn much. Here, let me give you a scenario. There's been some plane crashes. There's been certain stuff going on. And I've seen people in the comments like, man, these DEI hires are getting out of control. And they really believe this. Mm-hmm. Whenever the person is like brown or black or brown, there was like I think it was a Mexican pilot. And there was an incident that had happened. And they said, these DEI hires. It's like, bro, why are you assuming this is DEI? You know how much work you got to do to be a fucking pilot?
Right.
Like that's bro, at some point, it would be a little more refreshing to just call somebody a nigger or something. Because if you're going to use all these dog whistles and subliminal racism, like I would never see a bunch of white people on stage that were great artists and say like, they're just white. Where are the black people? I don't care. Mm-hmm. I love U2. I love Coldplay. I love The Who. I love Billy Idol. I love all these, but I never once said, where are the black people? Why doesn't Kiss have black? Well, actually, Kiss does have a black band member, actually. But that's neither here nor there. Mm-hmm.
What's the guy's name? The guitar player?
You know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, forgot his, fuck. That's neither here nor there. I just think that.
Slash?
That might be, I think that's who it is. Mm-hmm. I think that's who it is. You got it. But I just think, I can't let that shit rock.
Slash for 100.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I think we always have this conversation, like, especially like in education, we talk about people that are like so up in arms about change, right? And I'll kind of tell this story, like, and I'll try to do it in a very general way. So my girl, she works in education as well, and there was some changes that went on at her school. Basically, the principal was coming down and trying to implement certain practices to help these young students read better. You know, there's a lot of she works in a low, what do you call, like, poverty-stricken neighborhood. So, you know, the education is generally aligns with the amount of income that's in, you know, a given community. And basically there was some teachers that were like pushing back on the new strategies that they were trying to implement to help these students read. And we were just saying, like, why would you be pushing back on something that is, one, a part of your job, and then two, trying to help the students that are not getting the help that they need, right? And some of the strategies that they're like implementing were strategies that the teachers were supposed to be doing, but they weren't. But we don't know if they're doing, because when you're a teacher, for the most part, like, nobody is coming into your class really checking in on you. Right. Like, it's almost like when you're like, you're kind of like a business, right? So say for example, you work at McDonald's or Sears or whatever. When you were working at Sears, the owner of the company is not coming in to just standing there and looking at you, you know, take boxes to cars or whatever the case may be. Right. So that's kind of how like education is. Like, you have observations and things like that, but for the most part, like, you don't have people like, you know, like looking over your shoulder every step of the way. So I say that to say there's ways where you can kind of get away with not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But what happens is they're looking at data and thinking like, oh, these are strategies that are supposed to be working, and they're not working. So we have to find a way to fix this. And what we're going to do to fix this is implement another strategy, and we're going to kind of observe to see what's going on. But what these teachers were doing were pushing back. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? I don't understand. We don't have the time for this. We don't have the time for it. It's like all these different excuses as to why they're not implementing what they're supposed to be doing. So I say all that to say that, to me, is an admission of guilt. That tells me that you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing initially, and now you're trying to save face by creating all these excuses around why, you know, you can't do this new strategy. Same thing with this conversation. When people are pushing back on DEI, you're 100% right. It has nothing to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. It has everything to do with your have these racial undertones that you don't want to explicitly say, right. And you're using all these buzz lingo and acronyms to kind of get off, you know, this racism that you have, or that you're trying to still kind of hold strong with. I just think that in general, when we're talking about, it's easy to say because I'm a black man, but in general, there's nothing wrong with diversity. No. You know what I mean? Like, when you have, in a creative space, for sure, like in general, in any sort of capacity, when you have the opinions of women involved, when you have the opinions of Hispanic people, when you have the opinions of black people, Asian people, you know, Indian, Native American, when we have like opinions of all these different people, it just makes it better. Like, even in terms of, say, for example, Black History Month is this month. At our school, the other only black staff member there and myself, we were able to like come up with like really powerful presentation for Black History Month. And the reason we're able to do that is because we're black. You know what I mean? That's true. And it's not coming from a place of like some white person trying to tell the students about Black History Month or what they think should be important or what they think they should know, and which is cool. Like, we get it, you guys are trying to, help and bring awareness to the situation, but at the same time, like, this is coming from the source. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And that's what diversity is all about. Like, when it's, if we are, like, say, for example, me and Eddie have this huge, like tech company or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's important to have different voices, because you have if you have a young Black man from LA or something like that, that's like a super nerd, and he comes in and he has like his cultural background and upbringing and just an awareness of like of what would be cool, or what, like running advertisements, or same thing with, like a Asian guy that may be from the Bay Area or San Francisco or something like that. And they're bringing their own culture and understanding to these conversations. Like, it just makes it that much better. Absolutely. But when you have only white men in a thing, especially when you're trying to sell products to America, like
America's a melting pot.
Exactly. You're not actually speaking for everybody, because you don't have enough diversity in your company. So in my opinion, I think even as a Black man, you know what I mean? If I had a business and it was just like all Black people, I think that would be cool, because it's kind of like combating something else, that like a bigger conversation. But at the same time, like, I think it would be important to have like, a Black woman, or, Hispanic woman, or Hispanic male, or whatever, just to have that, those different people influencing the decisions that
Absolutely.
the company is making.
I think that at the very least, if having a company, and is my mic good?
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. Having a company and hiring on people that happen to be Black that are most suitable for the job is great. But, having a person that happens to be white or Latino is also helpful. Mm-hmm. Just simply based off this. Let me say this. Let's say me and Keith are making a movie. I'm like the producer of the movie, and it's about like Latinos, right? And then we're writing this movie, and we look around, there's not one Latino person in the writing's room.
Yeah.
There's like two Black men shaping a script about Latinos while not being Latino. Mm-hmm. That's not okay. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. That's not cool. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to go all over the place. I will say this. I've named numerous acts that played on the Super Bowl where there was no Black people there, and not once did I have a complaint, nor did I even think about it. Mm-hmm. This is why I can accuse him of displaying a racial microaggression, because as a Black man, when I see non-Black people performing and it's a good performance, I objectively can say that's dope. But when you are saying the NFL with the DEI bullshit, and then it blows up in their face, he thought he dropped the bar. He said the DEI turned into an IED, it blew up.
The people in the audience wasn't really feeling it. Like they kind of caught on afterwards and kind of clapped or laughed or whatever. But it took them a little minute to catch that.
It was ignorant. I just, my thing is, as far as Kid Rock is concerned, I would figure he wouldn't be as oblivious, being that he benefited from hip hop culture, which is a predominantly Black space.
Yeah. And
having a Black son and a Black child's mother, I would assume you would know have some idea of what's coming out of your mouth, bro.
But that's the reason why, we see guys like Charlemagne, where sometimes he be pressing some of these white artists that be going on the Breakfast Club, because what happens sometimes, and I'm not saying all the times, what happens sometimes is there are people that leverage Black culture, and they know that being an anomaly in a space can benefit you, right? So if you are a white, even now still, if you're a white hip hop artist, people might just check it out, because especially if it's decent, like if it's on par with other, Black artists, they're going to check it out, because it's like, oh, this is unheard of. The white, it's the same thing with like, what's the guy's name? Cooper, that was on the Eagles.
Oh, the corner. Damn it.
Yeah. I forget his name,
It'll come to me. Yeah.
But yeah, he's a good player.
Cooper DeJean,
right? He's a really good.
He's
player.
a hell of a player, but he happens to be white at a position that has not been played by a white player since like 1998.
and he's going to get that much more attention just because it's an anomaly. It's just not when, you know, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm sure there's like, it's the same conversation with Floyd Mayweather said this when Jeremy Lin was like going crazy. He was like, he was like, Jeremy Lin is cool, but you know, guys like Kobe do that every day. And, you know, I don't want to limit, you know, that because Jeremy, the whole insanity thing, but I'm just saying that there's a conversation to be had that when there is somebody that's like an anomaly in a situation, there is more attention to it. Yeah. So I say that to say like when a guy like Kid Rock, who he probably really loved hip hop, he probably really genuinely wanted to be that. But there is some people that believe that some of these people, they come and they do the hip hop thing or they do the R&B thing for a little bit, and then they dip off, and then they go and wear a cowboy hat, and you know they're so far removed from hip hop and black culture, and then they you know they kind of talk crazy. Like even a lot of people have a lot to say about
Post Malone.
No, not Post. What's the $1 Million Baby song? The guy.
Oh, fucking Tommy Richmond.
Tommy Richmond. Yeah, they were saying like, cause he had a statement saying like something about like, I'm not hip hop. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to misquote him, but it was something trying to remove him from saying that his music was hip hop or something like that, or whatever the case may be. But some people took that as like, yo, like you benefited from like hip hop culture and, you know, black culture, and now you're trying to, you know, remove yourself for whatever reason. But yeah, so I think that, you know, I think there is, I say all that to say, I think there is a, I can understand why people would be skeptical of supporting some of these acts, you know, when they do stuff like this. Like decades later, you all of a sudden like this, you know, huge Republican, you know, and you dress different, you talk different, you know, you're not even like this. If you got signed as a hip hop act and you get to see the first fully, I think he was the first hip hop artist to like fully perform and lead and be the number one person by like solo act on a stage. You should be applauding that as a hip hop artist because Absolutely. You know where hip hop started and how far it took us.
And he performed during the Super Bowl, Kid Rock, and he ripped it. I'm gonna give him that. Mm-hmm. Kid Rock performed in 2004 and he ripped that shit. Mm-hmm. He definitely did. Mm-hmm. Regardless of, you know, any opinion I may have of him, when he got his shot at the Super Bowl, he went nuts.
It was a solo thing?
No, it wasn't solo. Mm-hmm. He had the band in the background.
No, I mean like was he the leading, what do you call it? Like
the lead artist? Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But he was going, he hit with the ball with the ball. He went fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. I'll give him that. That was a very solid performance. Mm-hmm. And I remember the Super Bowl that year was, I believe it was the Patriots and the motherfucking Panthers.
The crazy part about that is, even though Kid Rock, you know, I don't remember that Super Bowl performance by any means, but like Kendrick was a much bigger artist now than Kid Rock was when he performed.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just don't understand why he would think that's some like DEI thing.
I don't know. It's just, it's ignorance. I think at some point you got to learn to objectively listen. To me, I sat with this whole situation for a while. Mm-hmm. I don't like to put race on people or racism on people. However, I will tear down my own opinion and look at it, and that just doesn't make any sense what he said. The only thing that I can get from him is there was a racial implication, and that is that the shit got handed to Kendrick Lamar, and people are like, oh, that's the worst halftime show ever. You know how much, bro, we literally sat there and watched New Kids on the Block in the Super Bowl, dog. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Well, there are 0 black people in that performance, and we sat there and watched it. Oh, the right stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason. And like I said, I'm not going to say like every Super Bowl performance pre-Jay-Z was bad.
Absolutely
but
not.
But part of the reason Jay-Z got the job is because of it's just culture. It's not necessarily that he was black. It's just culture. Like he just has, I think the new way to make a lot of money is to have really good taste, like a tastemaker, for example. Like when you see like a guy like DJ Khaled, for example, he's not a person that's like playing piano and like whatever, but his superpower is putting Drake and putting Lil Wayne and putting Rick Ross on a song
it's like
together.
An orchestrator.
Yeah. He's just like a great tastemaker. Even with like Kanye West, I think he's like, and I'm talking about like, pre all the nonsense. But like he just was a tastemaker. Like, I don't know if he was like literally stitching the shoes together or how much influence other people had on the design of the shoes, but he just knew what good stuff was. And same thing with Jay-Z, like his ability to sign artists. Now he's leveraging that to Super Bowl performances. And if next year Taylor Swift performs, like all of us, not all of us, but the people that I talk to, we like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not saying like, oh, the next black artist need to do it or the next rapper need to do it. We just like, we want to see like good performances. And even the people that are like huge hip hop fans that don't even listen to Taylor Swift are saying like, I think that she's like next up, and that has nothing to do with diversity. I mean, it inherently because Jay-Z is a black man, but I'm just saying like we are just like, he's just the tastemaker that's and he's right now he's doing pretty good. Like he has a pretty good batting average of putting the shows on.
I just think the biggest insult I would say is this. Let's say me and Keith take off, the podcast goes crazy. We signed some really good brand deals. I don't want motherfuckers saying like, I don't want to listen to that DEI podcast. I'm not okay with that. The fact that motherfuckers is handing me shit because I'm black, that is not fucking okay. I would never make that statement towards anybody else, and I think it's distasteful to do that. So, I ain't got much else to say about this. I would just tell Kid Rock, man, make sure you really think things through. Don't just come up and use these little acronyms and flip them around and make them sound interesting when you just look dumb. Yeah. Like, you just look dumb. He said he turned the DEI into IUD, supposedly. IED. Because it blew up in his face, basically. Because it was all, he said they're talking to his people, black people in the hood. And it's like, motherfucker, what? Yeah.
He has some lines in there about, like, being the white rapper, too. Like, when he was, that song you played earlier. It was, I forget exactly what he said.
He said, I'm not trying to act black, basically.
Yeah.
But it's he said that in the line. But, bro, look how you talking. You don't talk like that. Whenever you hear an artist and they're not black and they rap, they're using that rap accent, like, that's how black people really talk. Like, that's how we really talk. Yeah. Like, and if you're using, that's like me learning a new language, right? Let's say I'm trying to do like a reggaeton, right? And I'm using Spanish and I'm rapping the way they rap. I'm immersing myself in someone else's culture. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You just need to pay respect to it. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you go over a person's house and they happen to be Japanese or Chinese, whatever the case, and they require you to remove your shoes, you take your shoes off. Yeah. Right? I just think that people might need to be a little more respectful of other people's culture, bro. That's all I'm saying. Right. Anytime somebody else has here, and I'm all over the place, but I'll say this: Jersey Shore was a huge shore. It was a huge show. There was 0 black people on that show. It was all Italians from fucking Jersey, and it was a successful show. I never watched it and said, "Where are the black people?" There's no black people there. Yeah, and it was every episode had 0 black people on it. Right. So
I think kind of what you're saying is like we can appreciate something without thinking about color.
Absolutely.
But then I think when it's all said and done, we can have the conversations. Like, oh, they have a Jersey Shore. Like, what would it be like if, there was a black college, what was it, like College on the Hill or something?
College Hill was on BET.
College Hill,
that was a successful show.
Yeah, something like that. Same thing with, like you were talking about movies. Like, okay, cool, we got Captain America and Iron Man and stuff like that. Oh, what would it look like if it was like Black Panther? Let's see what that looks like. It would be dope to just have some representation on screen, and then we see it become successful. But like, I think meaning like me and you, we live in a space where like it doesn't have to be like, I'm not going into any movie or watching any Super Bowl like really thinking about color. I'm just trying to be I'm trying to be entertained at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. There's that.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to offer that. Just if you see Kid Rock saying something, I'm not saying invalidate it, but once you notice that it's just ignorant, just tune it out.
Yeah.
It's the same nigga shooting Bud Light cans, and then a couple months later he drinking a beer, Bud Light.
Yeah, Kid Rock kick rocks.
Yeah, Kid Cock. All right, switching gears. Let's finish up with one of these last ones. You want to get the Doge or you want to get the junk food one?
Let's get the Doge.
All right, cool. Let's do it. All right. Switching gears. All right. Switching gears. Doge. Basically, a Doge check. Trump backs idea to send some savings to Americans. All right. And it says, all right. President Donald Trump on Wednesday says he loves the idea of giving some of the savings from billionaire businessman Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, back to the U.S. citizens as a kind of dividend. Trump indicated support twice, first while attending an investment conference in Miami and later aboard Air Force One. The backstory: since Trump took office in January, one of his top priorities has been cutting and reorganizing spending within the federal government, tapping Musk to lead DOGE, which has been tasked with finding what to cut. Already, DOGE's efforts have led to thousands of federal government employees being fired or laid off, and some of its work is facing legal challenges in court. Then ex-user James Fishback wrote the post and that tagged Musk and outlined his plan to take 20% of the earnings found by DOGE to send it back to the hardworking Americans as a tax refund check. It was their money in the first place, end quote. Let me explain something to y'all. I don't have to be the biggest fan of this administration. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just another administration. However, I will say this. If I get a $5,000 check, I'll take it. I'm not going to be one of those people like, I can't stand Trump. I don't want anything from him. No, nigga, run me that money. I'll take it.
I'll take your check too.
If you don't want your check, I'll take yours too.
Right.
Okay? My thing is Americans deserve that money. All that money's been going out to fucking Ukraine and other places where it should not be going anyways. And the American people need to have relief. American citizens deserve relief, regardless of who they are, liberal, conservative, independent. They all deserve some money. And with the price of eggs being like motherfucking $10, $11 out here in California, it's crazy. Like the egg prices are so insane, bro. I'm about to open up a 401 egg account, man. Invest some money in my 401 egg.
This nigga reusing his TikTok jokes.
Yeah, funny. Man, it's just content, right? All right? Yeah, man, it's insane. No, yeah. Oh yeah, they're gonna be paying us per hour, like 25 eggs per hour. Double time, it'd be like 32 eggs per hour. Time and an egg and a half. That's comedy. Man. I run the money, man. I have no problem with them sending money back. Yeah. I'm not one of those motherfuckers that's going to disagree with everything the administration does because I'm an objective person. Mm-hmm. I want Donald Trump to do good. I genuinely do. You know, I can know when he on some bullshit. I guess there was some issue with park rangers recently. Mm-hmm. There was a good amount of them that were getting laid off. And, I mean, they are important. Park rangers are important. However, I don't know the whole historical context behind everything they do. Mm-hmm. I do know they are important though, and they're losing jobs. A lot of people losing jobs. They're cutting spending. It's okay to cut it, but at the same time, you know, yeah, there's a good and bad with this shit.
Right. I definitely have empathy for the people that are losing their jobs because that's like, you know, there's like you said, park rangers, different government officials. You have these jobs that people kind of, you know, when you can, you know how it was back in the day when like somebody was like, man, I got a job with the city. You know, those are those careers / jobs where you know they're gonna be there until they retire, and they getting paid a decent amount, and you know they got a lot of stability, probably some good benefits and stuff like that. But with this situation, it's a wrap. So I definitely have empathy for the people that are losing their jobs. I will say though, I think in general, we have to focus on ourselves. So, for me, I do my job, you know, on a daily basis, And I, am concerned primarily with myself and the people around me. And that may sound selfish, but the reason I say that is because it's just too much going on in the world to try to be concerned with any and everything, right? So if you say like, if I, what I said sounds a little like selfish or whatever the case may be, it's like I can list off a million different, what do you call it? A million different, it's getting late, so the words aren't coming to us as clean as it were. But a million different just things that are going on in the world that, somebody that may say like, oh, I'm supporting the homeless, but oh, what about the people in Africa? Or what about the people in Mexico? Or what about the people in China that are whatever? So, there's just so many different things out there where people need a helping hand. And in reality, like you can't really contribute to every cause. So, I think, with that being said, if Donald Trump and Elon Musk are putting together a plan to give the people some money, the people that got fired are gonna get 5 racks too. I mean, a little severance package,
I ain't trying to soften the blow, though.
No, but I think that this is what I will say though. When you have a mind like Elon Musk, and that's why I think part of the reason like people like Donald Trump, I would say more so the first time than this time, but a lot of the narrative going around was like Donald Trump is a businessman, like he gonna get our country right. And I think that Elon Musk being in this situation, when he's ran multiple successful companies, that every year they looking at their bottom line, they looking to see like how much money is coming in and how much money is going out, and how can we become more efficient? You know what I mean? When we talk about like stores, we talked about like places like Blockbuster. When we see those stores, a lot of those stores fall apart because they are, they just never progressed in a way that would benefit them. You know what I mean? When I don't know exactly the downfall of Blockbuster, but I know that if Blockbuster had the opportunity, maybe they had the opportunity to invest in like a Redbox or a Netflix or something like that, and they were like, you better get out of here. We're Blockbuster. You know what I mean? Or Hollywood Video, same thing. Like, what are you, Netflix? People are going to watch TV at home, or like they're going to watch movies at home? Yeah, right. And that's what happens. So I say that to say with a guy like Elon Musk, I think he's approaching government like a business. And if he's thinking like I can run a successful business, or I got rid of these people, or I make this part of my business more efficient by using, whatever, or same thing with like Walmart, we have these self-checkouts and things like that. And, they're using their resources to, or they may have got rid of some employees that weren't doing their job, whatever the case may be. I just think that a government that is a country that's $1 trillion in debt, and there's no end in sight. I think somebody like Elon Musk, even if he like helps out a little bit, like a few million here, a few million there, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that there's a conversation to be had as far as like getting rid of some government employees and how that kind of could ruin things. I think that's a different conversation. But I think the idea of because we know good and well that there's probably, even here locally, there's probably somebody that get paid $150,000 a year, and they show up to work and they sit on the phone all day, or they type emails or whatever the case may be, but they just like milking the system. Like their job is not super important, but us as taxpaying people here in town have to support her salary when she not really contributing to the betterment of our city. So I just think that's the overall goal. Maybe he's doing it the wrong way. Maybe there's a better way of doing it. But I think the idea itself is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just see it through, man. That's all. I'm gonna see it through. And when that check hit, I'm from the beach. Oh man, I can use $5,000. I'm pretty sure the listeners listening right now, you can use $5,000.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. So I'm not going to be the one complaining. I will gladly cash that I will cash that check and then hire a production team.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, look here, man. You got anything else, man?
Nope.
I'm good. We can wrap this thing up. All right, man. If you have been listening to this whole episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to A Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Finks.
We're out of here.
Peace.